transition, I think. But they're the stats, and I mean, in the first half they had 3 shots, in the second half they had 14. So there was a big difference, and I think, like I said, the big difference for me was just Ruben Amorim putting on the players. I think Mount came on, made a big difference. I thought then Ahmad had time and space to run, but yeah, overall better second half performance.
Yeah, the substitute certainly making the difference. We'll bring you more reaction very shortly because better second half performance from Manchester United. Owen, what did they do differently that managed to get them the win tonight?
I don't think they just created much in that first half. I think they had 72% possession, but didn't create anything, didn't really take many shots. And I just thought the second half they were a little bit more aggressive, created more, had a few more shots. And that's all it needs, just be a little bit more positive. When you have that much of the ball, Jules, then you got to create more. And I think the second half they created a lot more, well, a little bit more positive. Obviously, the changes from Amorim had a big impact, but just played a lot better than I did in the first half.
Yeah, at half-time when we were looking at the team sheet and we were looking at who could potentially come off the bench, it is strong, isn't it? He obviously didn't play maybe his strongest 11 tonight with the derby to come on Sunday, Karen. So he had those players he could bring off the bench.
He did, and they made a huge impact. Obviously, Højlund with the 2 goals, but I thought Mount was good. Anthony had a part to play in certainly the first goal. Agate tidied things up, and Garnacho as well. So it is a strong bench. I still think I'm not sure about Rashford playing in tight pockets, and Ahmad is obviously better when he's got big distances to run at. So I think that's something to be more mindful of. And I was a little bit disappointed with Xerxes in his hold-up play. There was some good moments from him, but he had to turn to his bench. And that was a shift, really. And like I said earlier, 3 shots in the first half, 14 in the second. You definitely want to see more of the second half performance on Sunday, I think.
Yeah, Højlund certainly made the difference in the second half. We can hear from Manchester United's goal scorer now. He's with Danny Davison.
Rasmus, that's the first away European win for Manchester United since last March. How did you find it out there?
It's a bit difficult. Very cold today and difficult circumstances. The pitch was a bit boggy as well, so yeah, we had to deal with it, and we solved it well in the second half.
When you say you solved it in the second half, what particular problems were you finding in the first half before you came on, and then what changed to solve it in that second 45?
I think we have to. I think we didn't play too direct in the first half. I think we needed to get them to play a little bit more over them and a little bit more behind them, because there was a lot of space to run into, and especially like I said before with a boggy pitch, then you get them, if you win them second balls, then you can play from there.
Was that the instructions when you came on? The substitutes in particular, when you, Mason Mount, Anthony came on, were they the instructions from your manager?
Not necessarily, but of course for my type of game, it's always to run the channels and tire the opponents, and I think I did that well today.
Could you talk me through the free kick routine from Bruno for your second goal? How often have you practiced that? Was that something that he came up with in the moment?
No, I've seen Bruno do that before. I remember a goal with Anthony Martial when he does the chip when Bruno does the chip for him, and I just thought I had a good opportunity just to sort of, because I'm strong and I had him on this side, so I could push him and just spin him and finish.
Look, it's 2 more goals for you. It's 5 now in the Europa League. I know when we spoke after the Bodo Glimt game, you said that the experience you have in this system from your time at Atalanta has been very helpful. Do you feel like you and the rest of the team, particularly that front 3, are getting more used to what the manager wants you to do? Can you see the results of that on the pitch?
Yeah, yes and no. Obviously, we still need more time. It's still very early days, but again, sorry. It's about getting the routines together, and I think it's getting under the skin now, but obviously it still needs a lot of practice and a lot of time. We don't have really a lot of sessions, so we sort of had to train it during the matches. I know it sounds a bit odd, but it's how you learn the best. So yeah, we're doing our best, and I think it's getting better and better.
Well done tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't think it's odd at all, really, because we know that this is going to take time, isn't it? They're learning a new system under the new manager, and he's changing the players around so much whilst he's trying to figure out what his best 11 is. It's one thing we know, that Rasmus Højlund is his best option as a striker down the middle.
Oh, that's for sure. I think he probably knew that before as well, because I think also Gyökeres is a really similar profile, I think, to Højlund in terms of physicality and size. He's a great athlete, Rasmus Højlund, as well. So obviously there's things I think both of them can work on, him and Xerxes. But right now it's Højlund, it's Ahmad, and it's Bruno. They're the ones creating the opportunities for Manchester United.
Let's take a look back at the key moments in this game then. There weren't any in the first half, so let's skip straight to the second half and take a look.
First of all, play positive with your throw-ins, play forward, Okay, you're trying to rebuild, so you throw it back. I think this is a slow ball in to Onana, and then what he needs is he's actually saying, come to my feet. If I just set it onto you, you can bounce it out to the side and we can get out because there's a full press on and they're funneling me into you. So just lend it in there. And there it is, they've funneled them in. Bounce it into De Ligt on his right side. You can bounce it out to Mazraoui there, but De Ligt's on his back foot. He doesn't want it. He's not ball playing. He's got his back to goal, and then all of a sudden you're thinking error. And there's
Whose fault is that though then?
Well, it's both of theirs because De Ligt doesn't really want it. That's why he goes back, but he's got to go to the ball so they can get it out wide to Mazraoui. In the end, Onana plays a poor ball and he's not near his goal. But Amorim wants his centre-backs to go in there to receive the ball. De Ligt's not comfortable to receive that ball in the half-turn, so obviously Onana plays a poor ball. But also De Ligt, I'm not sure really wants it. Amorim wants him in there. I'm not sure De Ligt wants to be there on the half-turn. It's a difficult position for a centre-back to be in.
I'm looking at that though, and I'm thinking that pass is never on with that many players around.
but
De
But
Ligt.
if the manager tells you to play it, you're gonna do what the manager
You
says,
do
aren't
that
you?
in training all the time. It's a little simple, safe-sided pass and you bounce out. But it is a case of maybe knowing your centre-back and just going, I'm just going to go long. But Onana's one of the best ball-playing goalkeepers. He's better with his feet than some of the centre-backs, Man United, being brutally honest. So he wants to play that, and the manager wants him to. It's literally a safe pass out the other side, but it didn't work. He's just got to go long.
This almost woke Manchester United up, didn't it? And with the substitutes that Ruben Amorim made, Rasmus Højlund came onto the pitch in this second half and not too long after he got the equaliser.
Yeah, I think Rasmus Højlund came on at 56 minutes and had a huge impact. Anthony was another one of those as well that came on. I love this. What a little nutmeg from Ahmad. He's brilliant. Is that an assist? I think it's half an assist, really.
I'd take that as an
But it's
assist.
a really good link-up play. Ahmad, he's so creative. He's so clever in there. And Højlund, look, he's fortunate. It just falls to him. But it's the impact of the players coming on. And Ahmad, just getting the ball in those areas, Karen, he's going to affect the game.
That's why I didn't particularly suit him in the first half when he's got his kind of back to play in tighter areas, in there where he's higher up. And then this is the effect of the goal that Højlund was on about there. He's pinning the defender. And it's a great finish because the pass into him isn't great, is it, Owen? It's a bit wobbly, but...
Probably, but the pitch didn't look great. But just, again, it's not the manager, that's players' awareness, making decisions. There's a lot of players at the back post. Højlund's got really the defender pinned. Great awareness from Bruno. You know, he's football intelligence. Even against Force, he scored when he created one. He's the guy that has to make decisions on the pitch, and he did it in such a crucial moment. That was absolutely essential.
Yeah, Karen, you were just trying to explain about Ahmad there. Why didn't we see more of that in the first half?
I think he mentioned it was too slow in the first half, and so you're getting set positions there. You have to break them down a little bit more. Second half is more transitional. They've got more space. And he's higher up and he's facing forward, dribbling. Like, I think that's maybe sometimes why we might see him as a wing back, because he's facing forward, he can run into spaces. As number 10, when you're tight, it's a different profile of player. He's at his best, like he did for the first goal, where he can jinx past players and put crosses into the box.
It's a good point,
Very
Frank.
different.
I'm not sure Marcus or Garnacho or they suit kind of, they're receiving the ball with the defender behind them and they're facing their own goal. Actually, they're used to being out wide where they can see everything. So this system, in a way, the way the 10s are featuring probably suits maybe more like a Mount and in a Bruno, where they can kind of, you know, Marcus, they can maybe stay wide and they can see things a little bit easier.
Okay, well, let's get the reaction now from the Manchester United captain. Bruno Fernandes is talking to Danny.
Bruno, it's a European win this evening. Performance-wise, what did you make of that from Manchester United?
No, it was a good performance overall. Obviously, I think in the final third we could have kept the ball a little bit more. We needed the man marking from them was difficult to get away. So sometimes it was just more pass and run, try to find the gaps to run in behind them, try to hold the ball up front and then make front row support. I think in the first half we did it a little bit better. In the second half we let the game go a little bit more the way they wanted, a more transition game. But then we dealt with that, and at the end we got to win.
You mentioned that the man marking, the press from the front from Plzeň particularly seemed to cause a bit of trouble. Could you talk me through all that Plzeň scored when Andre plays the ball out? What the manager's asking?
Everyone knows we have to make the decision that is the right one. Andre saw that Mata could get on the ball. He missed the pass. They scored a goal, but nothing. That's nothing that we have to focus about, because you have to focus about like what's the best solution that we can do it in the future. But it's not about Andre making the mistake. We don't look at individuals here. When something happen in the wrong side or on the good side is for all the players that are involved, and we have huge belief in Andre. So I won't say that Andre knows that he made a mistake because it's a clever guy. So we don't need to tell him, and he's gonna
Win in Europe for the first time since March last year. What were your thoughts on your side's performance this evening?
I think we improved during the game. We controlled the game in the first half, but without any great chances. Lack of speed, lack of movement, controlling the ball in the pitch was difficult to make the connection with the strikers, the frontal support. But we control. Victoria didn't have chances either. Then the second half, we give a goal away, and then we react. We push the opponent to their half, and then we managed to score. We couldn't score before, but was a win in this moment important. It's important to look at the performance, but a win is always better to prepare the next game.
Did you say about the lack of speed in the first half? It seems a little sloppy as well. What changed then into the second half? What did you ask the players to do differently? What changed?
The speed. I told the players that we need more movement in front because they have to feel it that we are a danger also behind to use the space, and we changed a little bit the game. Also the guys that came off from the bench also helped, but I think we improve not just the way we play, but specifically the speed of the game.
Of those players that came on, the three substitutions of Højlund, Mount and Antony really seemed to change it, and 2 more goals for Rasmus Højlund. Are you seeing him develop and really get used to that central place in your team?
Yeah, he's improving. I think he's more near the goal now. He knows better the movements that he has to do. He could score more this evening, but he's scoring, he's working, he's controlling better the ball, so he's improving, and the other guys are there also in the bench to change the game, and they did it.
We spoke before the game about Ahmad getting a chance as a number 10. How did you think he did?
I think he can be a very good player in that position. He's a left foot. We need in this team left-footed to play in that role. I think in the first half he was coming for the ball too much. He needs to play near the goal, near the back line, not there but near. So it's the first time he will improve in the future.
And just last one, we talked about progress, which obviously helps when you win. In terms of the players learning your system, what progress do you think you saw this evening?
No, we are improving in some details. We control really well the transitions. We are aggressive when we lose the ball. We need time to work on the possession. This team needs to spend a lot of times near the opponent goal, not just in transition. So we are trying to work on that. But we are. It's good to win to prepare the next game. It's really important for us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, he talks about the progress and what he's learnt so far. Is he gradually, Owen, just kind of figuring out what works and who works in which position best in this team as he goes along?
Yeah, slowly, but I think he's going to have to start forming some partnerships, in defence, in midfield, and in the attack. I feel like he's probably a little bit closer to that. I think he probably now in his mind, especially after the way the subs come on, how he'll play against Manchester City on Sunday away. I think even today, some of the best moments came on the counter-attack, and that's what he said. Not just in transition. We've seen this United team, whether it's under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer or Erik ten Hag, actually often the best moments are in transition. So they'll probably have to do that on Sunday, and I think that's probably the way he'll set the team up. Okay,
so a good victory in Europe for Manchester United tonight. But as you say, Owen, the attention very quickly will turn to the derby on Sunday, massive at the Etihad against Manchester City, and the fixtures to come after that aren't easy either. Tottenham, they've got Bournemouth, who are doing really well, Wolves on Boxing Day, Newcastle, and then Liverpool at the start of January, Karen. Let's focus on the derby, because that's the big one. That's the one that's coming up next. We've just been chatting about who we think he will pick as his starting 11 on Sunday. Now, we're all in agreement that Rasmus Højlund will start up top. Yep. But we've got very mixed opinions on who we think might start elsewhere. And does that just go to show how difficult a task he's got?
Well, yeah, well, we know Bruno will play and Ahmad has been the best player for me. But I think you hit the nail on the head there. I think, City will dominate and they'll have to be really good on the counter-attack, whether he likes that Ruben Amorim. You've seen tonight their best moments, as you said, came when they had more space and on the transition. So he's got to have that in his mind, and he might pick his team with that in his mindset. But yeah, we've all got different teams, because we don't know the relationships, because he keeps chopping and changing it, so we don't know. And only Ahmad, Bruno and Højlund have really set a light since he's come in my opinion. So it'll be interesting to see who he picks.
Oh, and the question that we keep asking, though, is the group of players he has good enough?
Well, it's obviously not good enough. That's why they're 13th in the league, Jules. So, but his job is to make them better. And obviously, he's probably going to need some new players in. But right now, his job is to get the best out of these players. And at some point, he's going to have to settle on what's his team going to be going forward, so they can start forming some relationships and partnerships. I think he's done the right thing in trying to figure out who suits where, playing in certain positions. But I think he'll probably tweak it ever so slightly against Manchester City on Sunday. And obviously, with the fixtures coming up, they're all quite difficult. So you could probably find a little formula of maybe what's successful. But again, it's going to take a lot of time. Goal scoring is still a bit of an issue with this side, but I do think he needs to start letting people form relationships. When I played in midfield, you knew who was next to you. Rio Ferdinand and Nemanja Vidic. You think about Gary Neville and David Beck on the right-hand side. You knew who was going to play. I think right now you watch United and you don't know who's going to play. I think for sure Højlund's going to play. Bruno will play. Ahmad will play. Mazraoui's been terrific, but does maybe Euro come into the side? Does maybe Maguire play? So there's options because the bench is really strong. But I think he's got to settle on a few so they can develop and play together.
And I feel like with Manchester United, we never just speak about what's happening on the pitch, because in the last week, Dan Ashworth left his role as the sporting director. He was only in the job for 5 months, Karen. They spent that long trying to get him into the club. Yeah. And then he's gone that quickly. Something else that the manager's having to deal with.
And they spent a lot of money trying to get him in, and obviously then with losing jobs at the football club, prices of tickets going up, and then it's a cost to get him in, and then you get him out 5 months later. It seems very, very bizarre. I think Ineos have had an interesting year, for sure, and I think they'll have a reflection on that. But it's very clear that Omar is a guy that Sir Jim really trusts, and this is the vision that he wants to go with. I think Omar was heavily in bringing in Ruben Amorim, and that's the faith they want to go with. So interesting.
Can they win the derby?
Of course they can. And to be fair, remember, Ruben Amorim beat Manchester City with Sporting, on the counter as well. So I'm sure that blueprint will be there. But I think for United still, even there, you speak about Dan Ashworth, there's a lot of cooks in the kitchen. Maybe there's probably one too many, so maybe suits everybody with the change. But this football club is about results, and Sunday is a massive game. For 13th in the league, they need something. But so does Man City as well, so should be a good one.
Yeah, looking forward to it.